Do you want to make AI graphic designs like these and then vectorize them to put them on t-shirts, mugs, phone cases, or whatever? Well, today I'm gonna show you a couple of methods that you can use to make AI vector images and then upload them to whatever platform you want, like Redbubble or Teespring, and make your own t-shirt designs. The first method we can use is by using this website called Recraft.ai. You can make a free account and you can get up to 50 free credits every single day, which will be enough to generate about 50 images every single day. So after that, you should see a vector image button right over here. Click on that, and over here you can select a style. I'm just gonna leave it on vector art, and in here you can type your prompt. I asked ChatGPT to generate me a couple of prompts for t-shirt design, so I'm just gonna copy this one real quick and I'm just gonna paste it right over here. Over here you can switch to select your size. I'm gonna leave it to 1 by 1 because that is the best aspect ratio for a graphic design. Over here you can select the amount of images that you want. In order to generate more than 2 images at a time, you need to sign up for a premium account, but I'm just gonna let it on 2 images. Click this for style diversity, which is going to give you more diverse style images. And if you want to make some Halloween graphics, you can click this button over here to give your graphics a more Halloween vibe. But I'm not gonna do that right now, so let's just click on Recraft. And as you can see, this is generating the image. It takes up to 15 seconds to generate an image. And here is the result. You can see that these 2 images, they don't really look bad, but at the same time they don't look great. But don't worry, later on I'm gonna show you some better methods that you can use to generate way better graphics. And if you want to remove the background on these images, all you have to do is click on this button right over here, and this is going to remove the background. Okay, that might not have been the best example, so let's just generate another image. And this is the result. As you can see, the text is not great and the overall graphic doesn't look all that great, but at least it is already vectorized. So as far as I know, this is the only AI image generator that can generate vector art by itself. Now, a better way to do this would be by using ideogram 2.0 because it generates really good graphic designs. I'm gonna go ahead and copy a prompt from ChatGPT. I'm gonna go to ideogram, I'm gonna paste it right over here, and I'm gonna click generate. And as you can see, these images look pretty good, but they wouldn't really work on a t-shirt. Now to fix this, we have to specify that we want a graphic design on a solid color background. And over here you can click this button to make sure that the final image would be in the style of a graphic design. And afterwards I'm gonna set the aspect ratio to 1 by 1 and just click generate. Now these look a lot better. As you can see, all of these would really work on a t-shirt, and I think I'm gonna go with this design. The problem is that this is still a rasterized image, which means that it wouldn't really work very well on a t-shirt because you would need to upscale it in order for it to print well. And as you can see, the background is solid color, which we will have to remove. And to do that, all I have to do is just save the image. And to remove the background, we are going to use this website called ClipDrop. All you have to do is sign up for a free account and you can remove as many backgrounds as you want. Select the image and just click remove background. And as you can see, it did a great job at removing the background. So I'm just going to save this image. And if we take a look at it using photos, you can see that it did a great job at removing the background, but the problem is that the image is in WebP format and we're gonna need it to be in a PNG format. So to do that, all you have to do is search for any HTML to PNG online converter. I'm gonna use this one and just select the graphic, click convert. After the image is done converting, click download, and as you can see, now we have a PNG that looks pretty good. Now you can do the converting before or after you remove the background. I recommend doing it before, but you can do however you prefer. But you still notice that the image resolution is still pretty bad. Now, in order to change that, we can use a website called BigJPEG. I'm gonna link it in the description. This will upscale the image to up to 4x. which means that the final resolution will be a lot better. So I'm just gonna upload the image real quick, click start and select 4x over here, click OK, and as you can see, the image started processing. This is gonna take a little while, so be patient. After it's done upscaling, click on download and save the image wherever you want. Now, as you can see, now we have a high resolution image. This could work printed on a t-shirt, but I recommend upscaling it twice to make sure that the final resolution is very high, because usually all of those print-on-demand websites that you might use will usually require you to upload a very high resolution file, otherwise the final result might look pixelated or blurry. Now, the problem with using this method is the fact that ideogram sets a limit on how many images you can generate every single day. You can use other online image generators, but I've noticed that none of them are really as good as ideogram 2.0. But to fix that, we can do the whole process locally, and to do that I made a little workflow over here by using the XLabs sampler for Flux. If you followed my previous videos where I talked about Flux ControlNet, then you know what this XLabs sampler is, and if you didn't, make sure to do that beforehand, otherwise this will not work for you. Now, what this does is it allows us to use the Flux dev model in order to generate these graphic designs, and it also allows us to use a LoRa in order to make the designs look better. And the LoRa that I'm gonna use for this purpose is called Graphic T-shirts. You can find it on Civet.ai. I'm gonna link it in the description. And another thing that you're gonna need is this Inspirant RamBG node over here. When you're gonna load this workflow for the first time, you're gonna notice that this node over here is red. All you have to do is click on manager and install missing custom nodes, and after that just install the missing node. And when you do that, when you're gonna run the prompt for the first time, you're gonna notice that it's gonna take a while to load. This is because the manager will be downloading this background removal model in the background, which will take quite a while because it is a couple of gigabytes large, so be patient with it. So after you downloaded all the necessary files, we can take a look at this workflow. Make sure that you have these clips selected over here. So in the clip name one, we're gonna have clip1.savetensor selected. In the second box, we're gonna have this FP8 model selected. And over here, make sure that you have the Flux Dev FP8 selected. This doesn't work with Flux Chanel as far as I know. So make sure that you select Flux Dev. And over here, we can take a look at the positive prompt. Make sure that in your prompt, you include at least one of these keywords, otherwise you will not be using the LoRa. So I already typed a prompt over here, which again I wrote using ChatGPT because I'm not really good at writing prompts. Make sure that you have your positive prompt pasted in both of these boxes, otherwise it will not work very well. And the same thing goes for the negative prompt. Make sure that you have the prompt pasted in both of these boxes. Now I set the LoRa strength to about 0.5. You can play around with this value, but I noticed that it gives me the best results when I use it at this strength. Over here you can change the size of your image. I'm gonna leave it at 1024 by 1024 because this is the best size for graphic designs. Over here you can see this upscaler model. This will upscale the image by a factor of 4, so make sure that you have a upscaler model downloaded, or you can use the default ones. But I noticed that this 4x ultra sharp upscaler model works really well, which you can download by going to manager, model manager, and if you search for upscaler, you can see the 4x ultra sharp model over here. I already downloaded it, but you can also download any other upscaler model. So now that we have everything figured out, let's just click Q prompt and see how this works. And this is the result. You can see that it upscaled the image and it also removed the background. Now, by using this method, sometimes the background remover might not work very well. It might remove some details that you don't want removed, or it might also leave in some other details such as these small errors over here. You can fix those using Photoshop or any other image editing app. But if you don't really want to do that, then I still recommend using the process that I showed you previously by removing the background using this ClipDrop website and upscaling it using Big JPEG. The upside of using this method is that you can generate as many graphic designs as you want compared to ideogram, which only allows you to generate a limited amount of images every single day. Now, Flux might not always give you the best possible results, especially compared to ideogram, which is really good at generating graphic designs that are fit for t-shirts. But if you play around with the prompt a little bit and you make sure that you specify every single detail that you want to see in your design, then you will make some really decent designs. So let's go ahead and try to write a different prompt. I'm just gonna copy another prompt from ChatGPT. Let's use this one, and over here I'm gonna replace this text with this one. Now, very important, select everything and paste it below as well, otherwise this will not work very well. And let's just click Q prompt again and see what happens. And this is the result. Over here you can see that it removed the background pretty well, but if the background remover doesn't do a good enough job for you, then you can just go ahead and delete these nodes. Just save this image, and we are going to remove the background using clip drop. As you can see, this one does a way better job, even though it still has a couple of errors over here. But we're just gonna ignore those for now. Save this image, and then I'm gonna upscale it using big JPEG once again. And this is the upscaled image. It looks pretty good. But if you don't want to upscale your images, then a last thing that you can do is turn them into vector images. To do that, we can use this svgconverter.app website, which is by far the best free image vectorizer app that I found online. So all you have to do is click on the left side of the web page, and let's just select a design. Over here we have this mug design, which we have already upscaled and removed the background for. Now, here on the right side, you have the settings. Make sure you set the details amount to high. Background transparency should be turned on if you want your image to have a transparent background. And over here, if we leave this on unlimited, everything else should be set by default. And let's just click Vectorize. This will take a couple of seconds to process. And here is the result. As you can see, it turned it into a very high quality vector image. And the nice thing about vectors is that you can upscale them or you can resize them to whatever you want, and they will not lose any quality. Now, another thing that you can do is click here on custom, and this will allow you to select the amount of colors that you want to see in a certain image. Now, let's say that you don't want a lot of colors or a lot of variation in your color palette, so you can set this to a smaller amount. Let's say 10, and this will only allow the most dominant colors in your image to remain. So I'm gonna click save, leave everything else the same, and just click vectorize. And as you can see, we have still a pretty good vector image. Now, depending on your image, this may or may not look better, but you should play around with these settings and see which ones fit your image the most. I'm gonna switch it back to unlimited, and let's try another design. I'm gonna try out this T-Rex design over here, leave everything else the same, and just click vectorize. And as you can see, it turned it into a really nice vector design. Of course, this will not be perfect, but it still looks pretty good, and it definitely looks usable for a t-shirt or a phone case design or whatever. And after you are done with that, just click over here on download, and this will, by default, it will be set as an SVG document. You can also change that to an AI, EPS or PDF, but I'm gonna leave it as SVG, and just click download and save it wherever you want. And if we open it, you can see that it looks pretty good. So that's it. This is a very rough workflow. I'm gonna try to improve it in the future and maybe make an update video on it, but I hope that you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful. And if you have any other video recommendations, make sure to leave that in the comments. So yep, see you next time.